Hey, also, I wanted to give you an example of my needs being not being met in a previous manipulationship that I've talked about before. And it could be subtle needs or wants. And when there's no legitimate reason, the person's refusing because there's nothing in it for them if they're a toxic individual. And they get a kick out of refusing you something that you need or want. They really enjoy that because they're demented. There's something wrong with them. Healthy people want you happy. They want to put a smile on your face. They want to make you laugh. Nothing makes them feel better than to see you tickled about something. Even if it's something small, like y'all went to the ice cream shop, they gave you your favorite ice cream, double scoop, triple scoop, whatever, because they give you extra scoops because they know you love it. And they love to see the ecstasy on your face when you're biting into it. Okay? Toxic people are the exact opposite. They get a kick out of making you miserable. So in the previous manipulationship, which thankfully was years ago, and thankfully I dumped him through text because I was done. Just done with the bullshit, the circus. Okay? Just done. So in the beginning, I'm gonna say for about 3 months, pretty agreeable, um, not argumentative, not having intercourse with my brain. Hadn't started yet. And I noticed these little subtle refusals. Okay? Subtle. No reason to say no other than the fact that you're being an asshole. you know? So dated me, supposedly dated, took me out, didn't mind courting initially. But as per typical narcissists, they're extremely selfish with money. Money, money, money. That is their real woman, their real wife, their love of their life is money. It's the most important thing in the world to them. A lot of them are extremely greedy, and he's always begging off his parents' money. Always begging. Has no embarrassment about having his hand out because as long as he can spend your money instead of his, well, hey. So he courted me for a few months and then decided not to do it anymore. Okay. Just wanted to sprawl his ugly scarecrow ass across the bed and watch Netflix or whatever. That's a clear sign that a person doesn't want to be bothered with you no more. And truth be told, we're going to go there. Truth be told, when you first meet a narcissist and they start throwing their so-called line to pick you up or whatever, the clock is ticking from the moment you start going out with them. The clock is ticking before they're tired of you. It's like a cab. When you get in the cab, as soon as you sit your butt in the seat, the clock is ticking and the fee goes up and higher and higher depending on how far you have to go. That's how much you end up paying. Okay? It's the same thing with a toxic, narcissistic manipulationship. The clock is ticking before they're done with you. 5 minutes after they met you, they really want to be with someone else. And it has nothing to do with you. There's something wrong with them. Their brain doesn't operate like a normal, healthy person. All right. So I remember one time we'd gone out and um, I think there was going to be a band or something at the it's called Cooper's Landing, and it's a place that's right on the Missouri River, and they have free bands there a lot. A lot of times they started new owners took over, and they started bringing food trucks out there, and the food is good. Don't even think there it isn't. I'm telling you, it's really good. And so I had found out that there was going to be. I don't remember what went down. I don't remember if there was going to be a meetup there or a band that I really wanted to see or something. I think I know what it was. My friend was going to go there because I think there was a meetup there and a band that I like was going to be performing. And I asked Scarecrow, I said, I really want to go. Oh, I'm too tired. I'm too tired. I'm too tired. That is a typical excuse, bullshit excuse that narcissists, toxic ass mofos will use. They're always tired because they can't come up with anything else. And that's always a default. Just too tired. The real reason was because he didn't feel like it and it was something I wanted to do. That's the real reason. There was no excuse for me not to go other than he's a prick. That's the reason. Okay? Another time we went to, I think it's called Fazoli's. And I didn't know this at the time, but we're going to go raw today. I don't care. My body was telling me then that something is not right with him. And I lost my appetite, and I didn't know why I lost my appetite. So I couldn't finish my meal. So that was my body warning me, okay? So I got a to-go box, and I put the rest of my meal in there, and then I put it in the fridge at my house, so I could have it later. When we got into another stupid-ass, toxic-ass argument, do you know he had the balls, the audacity to go off on me because I didn't finish my meal? I'm going to tell you what that's all about. Number one, that's about control because they get a boner arguing. They love to argue. It's their favorite freaking thing. Okay? He's pissed off that he spent his precious money. Mommy and daddy are not going to pay for you to go on dates with people. So he's pissed about that because God knows they kiss his ass every other way and they give him money all the time, which is why he acts the way he does. He had the balls to argue about that. Well, you didn't even finish your dinner. Now, a healthy person doesn't give a shit if you finish your dinner, you don't finish your dinner, you put it in a to-go box, you don't put it in a to-go box. A non-control freak, someone who's not about control, doesn't really give a shit. Okay? A healthy person might say, are you okay? You didn't finish your dinner. Are you all right? You feel okay? Yeah, I'm just full. Okay, cool. And that would be the end of it. It wouldn't be war. It wouldn't be an argument. And nobody has any right to tell anybody that they have to finish their dinner in one setting. How ballsy and retarded do you have to be? How fucked up in the head do you have to be to make somebody, you didn't finish your meal, bitch? That ain't got shit to do with you. That ain't got shit to do with you. I said, so what? I'll have it later. That kind of works in my favor. I got something else I can heat up later. Not a big deal. But for a control freak that spent their precious money and mommy and daddy don't give them money to date, that's the issue. If I'm going to spend the money that I don't want to spend for your ass, you need to finish your meal now. Okay? Again, toxic. They always prove that they're toxic and damaged, brain damaged. They always prove it. Okay? Another thing is I noticed in the beginning, I'd hang out with him all day and then we'd go to his place and then I'd eventually leave. I noticed a trend of when I would leave, I would be looking for something to eat when I left there. And then I put two and two together and I realized, oh, he's not going to make sure that I get anything to eat. He's toxic, right? You're not going to get a healthy response out of a sick ass person, right? A healthy person makes sure you don't want for anything. It doesn't have to be in a relationship. It could be a family member that you're visiting. It could be a friend, a pal that you're visiting. People routinely ask you, would you like something? You want something to eat? Do you want something to drink? I got some sweet tea. I've got ice water. I've got orange juice. I mean, what would you like? Or I'm about to make a sandwich. Would you like one? No, what is it? Well, I'm going to have, turkey, lettuce, tomato, I'm just going to, toast the bread, make me a sandwich. That sounds good. Yeah, I'll take one. They don't want you leaving their house hungry. They don't want you leaving their house thirsty. A toxic person doesn't give a shit, especially since their money is more important than you are. When I realized there was a pattern of me leaving there and still being hungry, being hungry when I left, I started buying my own groceries and I would bring them. Now, the little bastard would cook the groceries, cook the food, so that was good. But that worked in his favor in a large way because if I'm buying the food, he don't have to spend his precious money. See what I'm saying? These are all grounds for dismissal of that person. They don't look out for you. If you're thirsty, oh well. If you're hungry, oh well. They don't want to spend their precious money on groceries. They're not going to take you out to eat no more because why should they? They need to beg money off their parents or whoever they could bum money off of because they don't want to spend their precious money. Okay? I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other scenarios. He's got a fascination, a weird, creepy fascination with Robin Hood. Are you like a kid? When was last time y'all saw two adults talking about Robin Hood? And the guy that he was friends with, he was actually romantically involved with him. What? It's weird. It's a very strange conversation. But you also have to remember that narcissists they have arrested development, so they do not develop fully as an adult. Experts do believe that they remain the age mentally of when the abuse started in their childhood. And a lot of people come from abusive backgrounds, so that's not an unusual thing, unfortunately. But if the abuse started kicking off at 8 years old, they may be 30 or 40 years old or more, but they are still 8 years old. And I saw proof of that. Who the hell wants to sit here and talk about the fascination with Robin Hood and kept bringing it up multiple times? It was weird. It's like discussing with a child. So these are multiple incidents where I should have dumped his ugly, pale ass. Okay? Ugly. Very ugly. Outside and in. I don't judge people for the outside. You can't help how you look on the outside. But you can help how you look from the inside out. You can help that a lot. Okay? And people that are not really good looking, but they're a great person, they are a good looking person because their joy and their beauty radiates from inside out. When you're ugly on both fronts, well, nothing can be done about that. Okay? And if I still didn't get a clear sign that that person was zero, not connected to me whatsoever, if I never did get a sign, well, here's an obvious sign. And I've talked about this multiple times. Some of you are hearing this video for the first time, so it'll be new to you. All right, so we went for a walk. It was the dead of summer. No wind. You understand me? High temperatures and no wind whatsoever. So if you're outside and you're prone to heat issues, like your body is sensitive to extreme heat and you can't get relief, you could easily go into heat exhaustion. And that's what happened to me. And I knew what it was because I've been there before. I've been down that road before. So we went from one park, I don't remember the name of it, to another park that is connected to it. And then we climbed up this... No, wait. No. No. We walked. And then by the time we got to a hill, there's a hill and then there's the creek. By the time we got to the creek, The heat exhaustion hit me like an atomic bomb. For those of you who have had heat exhaustion, you may know these signs because you've been through it yourself, or some of you may have witnessed people go through it. You get too much heat, you don't get enough relief. The heat builds and builds and builds and builds. And then for me personally, I get very weak, and I get nauseous. And it hits like a freight train. There's no slow build. When it hits without warning. And I distinctly remember sitting by the creek and I've got my head down and I've got my head in my hands and I'm saying all I could say, and I'm sure I'm getting pale. The reason I know I get pale is because somebody witnessed me go through that and she was very concerned and she's a stranger. See how that works? Some people are not fucked up in the head. Some people actually care. Not the person you're with, but somebody else will care. Anyway, if you're with a toxic person. Anyway, and so I remember my head was down and I had my hands, on my face or on my head, and my head is down and I'm going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's all I could say because I feel so terrible and I feel terrible fast. And I'm tempted to get in the creek, but I don't want to get drenched. And there were no towels in the car or anything like that. So you know what I mean. It was going to be an issue. And the split second, this bastard saw that I was having a problem. This demon saw that I was having a problem. He scrambled up the hill like the cockroach that he is. And he was acting like I had some kind of horrible disease that you could catch it. You can't catch heat illness. Okay? Fucking bastard. His mother should have kept her legs shut or used birth control the night he was conceived. It would have saved a lot of people a lot of problem, and it would have prevented his ex-wife from eliminating herself after dealing with him. Sarah. Sarah took her life after dealing with him for 20 years. He'd been fucking her brain for 20 years. She took her life. Okay? These people are poisonous. You understand what I'm telling you? They're fucking poisonous. They're psychological cancer. Okay? So he's at the top of the hill. He sees that I'm pale. He sees that I'm sick. He sees I'm having an issue. And you know what the stupid fuck said? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Who the fuck does that? Somebody who's twisted in the fucking head. That's who. Okay? Eventually, I'm trying to use mind over matter, and I'm trying to muster the strength to climb up this hill. Honey, that hill was steep. And it's extremely hot, and I'm not well, and I'm weak. But I have to struggle up this hill by myself because I'm basically there by myself because stupid is standing there looking stupid. So I'm finally, oh God, I mustered every ounce of strength. It wasn't easy. It was real hard to get up that hill. So I finally made it to the top of the hill, but I was still not feeling well. And so I laid on the ground. There's not much grass up there where we were for some strange reason. And I don't know, I just used my sneaker as like a pillow, basically. I laid down and put my head on my sneaker, and I just laid there until I could feel better. Not only did stupid ass not say anything, but there were people that were walking by or jogging by. They didn't say anything either. Do you not fucking see somebody laying on the goddamn ground? Do you not fucking see that? Is that normal? Is that normal to see people randomly laying on the ground wherever you go? What the fuck is wrong with people? They were as dunce as he is. Jesus, for the love of God. And you wonder why I hate people. You fucking wonder why? It's clear. It's obvious why. Okay? It's at the point where when someone does care and someone is concerned, they are a hero in your mind and in your heart, because that's not the way people do anymore. It's all about them. Got in the car, the stupid ass put the air conditioning on in the car. The car his parents bought, because he's not going to buy no car for himself. You must be crazy. They bought his house. They bought his vehicle. They bought his furniture. They bought his washer and dryer and everything else that's in his funky ass house. They bought everything because they're stupid. That is the reason why he's so twisted in the head. That is the reason he's so goddamn greedy. That is the reason why he's entitled. That's the reason why he is grandiose. That is the reason why he is a narcissist. Because you all been kissing his ugly ass ever since and ever since. And you taught him that he's king dingling, and that's how his brain is permanently damaged as a result. When someone takes their life because of you, get a clue. But they're too stupid to get a clue. Too fucking dumb to get a clue. So on the flip side of all of that, and I've talked about this before, there was a lady at the Alpine. They had an outdoor event, a boat demo, which was so cool. But it was super hot that day too. Oh God, it was extremely hot that day. Extremely hot. And I went up to, there's like a tent or like a tent thing, and me and the young lady were talking, and I said, I love you guys. You got so much to offer. It's just really cool. I love coming here. And I must have got pale in the face, because all of a sudden with that, we're talking, we're laughing, we're having a good time. I don't even know this woman, okay? And she stops in the middle of what she's saying, and she said, would you like some water? I said, yeah, that'd be great. I must have been turning pale, because something about the way she looked at me, she saw that I was having an issue. I didn't even realize I was having an issue yet. But when it hit, again, it hit with a ton of bricks, but it didn't hit at that moment. So I drank the water. And the minute I drank it, she gave me bottled water. And the minute I drank it, I felt nauseous because the heat was kicking my butt. And I didn't realize it until the nausea hit. And I said to her, she was the nicest person in the world, I swear. Oh my God, I would never forget people like this. I'm telling you, I will never forget them. And I just told her when the nausea hit, I said, okay, I have to go because I don't feel well, but thank you so much for being here, and I really appreciate everything. She goes, oh, okay, well, I hope you feel better, and thank you for coming out. And she was just a gem. Total opposite of fucker, okay? Total opposite. Should have dated her. Okay? Anyway. And then by the time I got to my friend's car, because I was there with my friend, he was with his daughter and the grandkids, okay? They were swimming at the lake over there. And he said to me, do you want to go swimming? The boys want to know if you want to go swimming with them. I said, no, absolutely no. I'm not well. I'm not well. I'm not doing good at all. I feel sick. And he's like, okay. So we got in the car, and thank God the the AC was kicking. But the nausea hit first before the AC started making its impact. The nausea hit, and I'm looking at where I am in the car. How far is the grass away from me in case I end up puking? I'm just going to keep it real with you. Yes, you get nauseous, and yes, you might end up puking because your body is flipping out because it's too hot. And you go through all these changes, these internal changes. And I was like 1 centimeter from having him take me to the ER, and that takes an act of Congress for me to even want to do that. But because I avoid, okay, unless I don't have a choice. But I run away from the doctor. I do. That's what I do. But I was 1 centimeter from telling him take me to the ER. Well, the AC in the car kicked on full gear, thank God. And I took my water shoes off, and I unzipped my a swim thing that I have. It actually blocks the sun and everything, but it was too hot to wear that day. You need something lightweight and breathable. When there's a heat wave, you need something lightweight and breathable. Anyway, so The minute the AC started to affect me and I could feel it on my feet and I unzipped part of my swimsuit, all of a sudden I felt way better within seconds because I was just dangerously very dangerous high body temperature, okay? When you go into heat exhaustion, if you do not get relief at some point, and preferably the quicker, the sooner, the better, you're going to go into heat stroke. Heat stroke is potentially deadly. You could die from it. And you will die if you don't get relief and you don't get to the hospital in time. You'll die. So that makes it even more insidious that someone's willing to stand there with their thumb up their ass just looking at you like, look at the sun, wow, look at the trees. Oh, this person's having an issue. Anyway, look at the pine trees, wow. Karma's coming for you, motherfucker. Anyway, I can't stand evil. I really can't stand evil people. And God knows they're everywhere. Narcissists are everywhere. They swarm like ants. But I called Alpine not too long ago. Let me see, a few months ago. All right. And I talked to one of the young ladies who's the supervisor, their manager, or whatever you call it. And she's a gem. I love her. She's such a doll. I talked to her, and then I had mentioned to her, I said, I don't know who this person was that helped me, but this is what happened. And the young lady at Alpine was extremely concerned about my well-being. She looked out for me. She made sure I drank water. She was so sweet. She doesn't know me from a can of paint, and I will never forget her. She said, I wonder who that is. She says, I think I might know who it is. You don't know her name? I said, no, I don't know her name, but if you do find out who it is, can you... I'm trying not to get emotional. Oh my God. I said, if you do know who it is, can you tell her that I've never forgot her and tell her I said thank you. She said, I think I might know who you're talking about, and I will mention it to her. I said, I would appreciate it if you would. So the good thing about evil individuals is you will never in your life forget the person who was not evil, the person who cared about you. They don't know you from a can of paint, and they want you happy. They want you safe. Here, drink some fluid. You got, you're not looking good. She didn't say you're not looking good, but something about my appearance changed enough for her to go, whoa. You never forget the people that are in your corner. That is one thing you will never forget. I love you guys. Take care. That's what I'm saying. All these, I'm sorry, I mean, I'm trying to go, but all these little scenarios, I should have dumped him on one of those scenarios, not a whole bunch of them. He should have been dumped because he didn't give a shit. My safety, my well-being was irrelevant. Thank God for good people. Y'all take care.